If you want to let Pete handle this, you got time for your boy Van Pelt. You good for?
I'm always here for you. He's just down here on the floor beneath me. But yeah, what a game, man! What a weekend! 5 straight days of college football.
Loved it, and I'm going to get your thoughts on that in a minute. But as I said there in the beginning of that highlight, I hope and I think our viewers at home understand the build-up and the hype. It's Bill Belichick. He's coming to coach college football. Of course, you're going to wonder and talk about what it might be. And this TCU team, look, we heard Sonny say they felt disrespected. They played that way tonight, didn't they? That Frog team played with an edge, and they played with the experience that they brought to town.
Exactly. I mentioned during the broadcast, because I was down on the field with him, that I talked with him throughout the week, getting ready for the broadcast. He didn't really bring up much about feeling a bit disrespected, but on the field, as they were getting ready and minutes away from kickoff, I said, "How you guys feeling tonight?" He said, "We're very ready." He said, "We feel slighted, we feel disrespected," and I said what you just said, and he goes, "No, don't get me wrong. I have more respect than anybody for Bill Belichick, but no one's brought us up throughout this whole thing, and our players, feel it, and so we're anxious to go out and play this game." And the way it started, I mean, it looked great for Carolina, but TCU, as you mentioned, an experienced team, a veteran team that knows how to win football games. They won 9 a year ago. And I think they came into this game with a great deal of confidence. And now that this story is over, now it's about where TCU might be headed in the Big 12 this year. And North Carolina obviously has to kind of regroup after week 1.
I agree. And looking at that TCU schedule, which you all showed, they've got some chances against teams like SMU and Arizona State fairly early in the season, playoff teams a year ago, to show that perhaps Sonny Dykes, who we know played for a title a few years ago, maybe they have the makings. It's very early, but TCU with an emphatic statement on a night where they felt slighted but made a loud statement. As for Carolina, look, optimism in the offseason, easiest thing in the world to sell. You bring a new coach to town, I don't care who it is. We're going to fly to the ball. We're going to play with tempo. We brought in all these new guys, and that's great. But the reality that we saw on tape tonight is that there appear to be some deficiencies on the lines of scrimmage in particular. What's Bill Belichick going to do? Because I get being a good coach, but you can't overcome what you don't have. What do they lack?
Well, they're going to have to continue to recruit and develop, obviously. But for the time being, what we saw, because no one knew with 70 new players what they really had. I mean, even trying to put our chart and our boards together, try to figure out who's on this team was somewhat challenging, until we got to the end of the first quarter. What do they have? They have a team right now that's got to get a lot better with the physicality at the line of scrimmage. They got to tackle better as a group. A lot of times they would run to the ball in pursuit and be there and then just not finish the play, which will drive Bill Belichick and his son Steve, the defensive coordinator, crazy. I think Max Johnson, I don't know the injury to Gio. You don't know how serious that is, but when Max Johnson got in there, his experience at LSU and A&M really showed. I thought he was more decisive. He got the ball out. There just seemed to be a little bit of a flow and rhythm to the offense with him in there. So wouldn't be shocked if maybe he gets an opportunity here in the next game or two. And at the end of the day, they just got to continue to find pieces. And, in the film, when you're down 41-7, I bet there's some guys that were starters that maybe they didn't give quite 100%. Yeah. Maybe guys that came in off the bench did. So they're going to continue to tweak and try to get better. But I don't know about you, but this is a team that obviously has got a long way to go by the time they get into conference play to try to be a competitive team.
They do. Their schedule isn't as difficult as it could be given what we saw from the ACC. No. That they duck a lot of the teams that really made emphatic statements. And I want to close with that, Herbie. You mentioned it's been a 5-day feast for folks like us that love college ball. The statements that were made that you think were the loudest that will resonate beyond just early September. Who caught your eye that you're saying they really showed me a lot?
LSU would be the first one just because they have a defense to go with the quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier. They got pieces around Garrett. The other thing that I think stood out to me was his play on the road in that environment. That was a tough game for them. They played smart. He didn't turn the ball over, which at times was an issue for him last year. I think they're a real threat in the SEC and potentially for a national title. The other team has got to be Florida State. I mean, we were kind of kidding, like Tommy Castellanos, what is this guy doing? What's he thinking? calling out Alabama. You don't want to ever do that against Alabama. I don't know what's a bigger story, how good Florida State looked or how terrible Alabama looked. It's a toss-up. I'm anxious to see what Alabama does with Kalen DeBoer. He's a great coach. He's got some good players. But to me, it was more about energy and lack of effort, not necessarily just execution. It's like, where's the speed on this team? I know they have Ryan Williams, but they just didn't look like a team that had, I don't know if they had ankle weights on or what their deal was, but they look slow to me. So I don't know where they go from here. They got to get a lot better. But Florida State, going back to your theme, it's got to be a team you walk away with, along with Miami, that looks like, wow, those two teams, 1 week, but those two teams I thought made great statements.
Yeah, at Stanford, Steve and I do a pod late Saturday night, and we both mentioned that Florida State program is a proud program. They put the money into Doak, and they played with an energy that's reminiscent of the old days of Coach Bowden when they were in your face every single play and let you see it and hear it and feel it. They were tremendous. They start with a lightning bolt down there in Tallahassee. Herbie, you were fantastic throughout. I know you time to get some rest and get home. Get Pete out of there. Give him a treat and pat on the head from his buddy Van Pelt. Look forward to talking to you soon. All right, my friend?
You got it.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch him walk right past you.